What is going on, you guys? My name is Marcus and this is another round of Via Landlord. Our goal today is to make it into infinite mode, and we're gonna start off with uh, one of these. With the cultist we have more chance of earning a little bit more coins, and for our next symbol we're gonna pick the shiny pebble so we can have a little bit more luck for getting better symbols. And in this one I was hoping for something better, but we're gonna take the crab since we can feed that to the diver, and in our next one a pearl, which we can also feed it to the diver. As for the first symbols, we're gonna pick the buffing capsule, and for items we're gonna pick the fishbowl, because if we can find some fish we can at least put them in there and earn a little bit extra gold without worrying too much. In this one we're gonna pick the peach because it's a certain amount of coins and we can earn a little bit more than the other ones. And in the next one another crab, so they can each boost themselves and earn us more coins. Next one we're gonna go with the dwarf, because if we find some beer we can feed it to him, and it's actually pretty good if you have the bartender. And for our last one we're gonna take the flower, just in case we find some boosting symbols like the rain, bees, or the sun. We need to find better symbols that we can make combos with, because their payment is actually getting pretty high. We're gonna pick up the 5-sided die, and for items we're going with the lockpick because it's the only one that's useful for us right now. So far we're not getting that many good symbols. I'm gonna pick the ones that are actually the most helpful for us right now, the ones that are earning us the most gold, or ones that we can at least make combos with a little bit later after we find some better symbols or after we find better items. We finally found something we can make a combo with, which is the wine with the 2 dwarves, which is actually gonna help us stay alive a little bit longer. More flowers, and still no items that can help us boost the amount of coins earned by flowers. In the items we're gonna take the grave robber because it's actually one of my favorite items to use, especially if you have a lot of urns or tombstones in your deck. We picked the rain, finally one of the boosting items for the flower, and we're gonna re-roll this one, and we got a fish, so we're gonna quickly pick it so we can put it in the fishbowl immediately before spinning. And the lucky capsule, which might help us find the diver we desperately need. But we got the chicken, so we're gonna skip it away and continue on. And another coal, just so we can try and get a bunch of coal adjacent items in order for them to boost each other, especially if we find the dame in this round. Well, we found the bee, which is gonna help us boost the flowers a little bit more, and we're gonna take in this one the black pepper because it's gonna help us each time we get rid of another item, and this goes well if we end up finding the diver, since we've got a lot of items he can destroy. And try to get more luck by getting the shiny pebble, because we need more rare symbols in the deck. The wine wasn't adjacent to any of the doors, so I'm gonna keep it this round and see if we can make it connect with one of the other doors. And next we're gonna take the urn, because we already have Great Robber, and we're gonna earn 1 coin after destroying the urn and 4 coins for the spirit that comes out of it for the next 4 turns. We're gonna skip in this one because we don't need any of that, and we're doing pretty good in rent. And in our final spin we're gonna take another flower just to see if we can make the flower build. But the next symbols and the next items aren't helping us, so we're gonna need to try something different. Hope we get even better symbols in the next few rounds. But sadly we're not getting much from what I can see. The beer will help us with the dwarfs, but the other symbols that are showing up for us aren't that good, so we might be in some trouble here if we don't find something that can boost the amount of coins we're gonna be earning. The dwarf got boosted with the puffing cat, so right after he was taking that beer, so that's gonna help us earn a lot of coins we're desperately needing. And thankfully we found another bee, which is gonna help us boost the flowers we already have in the deck. So we got one of the coals to open up, which is gonna help us a little bit more to earn the amount of rent we need. And we need about 45 coins, so we're gonna pick the lockbox and hopefully it opens right away. But it didn't show up, and we but we were short 5 coins. Failure. Wow.
2 hours later.
So we got this ridiculous run about 2 or 3 games after the last one we saw, where I've been getting some extremely good and rare items. As you can see, we got the rare lucky die, and one of the other things we got is the telescope, which makes everything adjacent at the 4th turn. So meaning that if we find good items to be adjacent to one another, we can make this an easy victory. And one of the symbols we got is the ring, which we have a few flowers, so hopefully this can make it better. About 2 or 3 turns after the one we just saw, I'm now removing a couple of items we're not commonly using, since we're trying to make everything adjacent in order to get a ridiculous amount of coins. And right after we find the sun, which is the best item we can have for a flower build, especially if we have the telescope, which makes everything adjacent to one another. We're gonna skip ahead and see if we can start earning some ridiculous amount of money. 6 to 7 turns later, where we got a flower, and we're gonna see how much we're making thanks to the telescope and a few adjacent items we've been getting for the flowers. And in that single spin, we made 12,000 coins, which we can pay the rent pretty easily. And we got the farmer, which is going to make this flower build even better, and some useless items we're not gonna keep. In this spin, we made over 44,000 coins. This is the deck we have right now. As you can see, we still have a couple of useless symbols, which we're gonna get rid of right now in order to have a round where we make a lot more coins than we have previously. And in this one, we made 128,000 coins, but we can do better.
2 hours later.
And one last time, we're in the 4th turn of the telescope, and we're gonna see how much we can make with all of these symbols. And in that single spin, we made over 1 million coins. So I think we can declare this a win.